Today I'm going to walk you through creating a key vault, setting it up to work with Databricks, creating a notebook, connecting it to an Azure SQL Server, and running some queries. Before we get started, you have to have a Databricks workspace. Please see my Azure Everyday video on creating a workspace if you do not have one set up. You will also need a database to connect to and run queries against. I will be using a SQL Server instance on Azure with the AdventureWorks sample database installed. In the Azure portal, I am going to get the server name and the connection information. After you select the Show Database Connection strings, this page shows you the common ways to connect. We are looking at the JDBC connection that our notebook is going to create and use. And finally, for security, I have used Databricks Secret Scope with Azure Key Vault, which is currently in public preview. If you are not familiar with the Key Vault, it is a way to securely store encryption keys and application secrets, or in our case, the database username and password. After you create the Key Vault and add your secret, there's a little more setup you have to do in order to integrate the vault in Databricks. Go to the properties of the vault and get the DNS name and resource ID of your vault. Next, you need to get the URL of your Databricks service. In a browser, navigate to that URL followed by #secrets/create_scope, which is case sensitive. That will open the Databricks Create Secret Scope page. Enter in the name you want to identify this vault by within Databricks, called the scope, and the DNS and resource ID you saved from the vault properties, and select Create. Now you can use these secrets in the Databricks notebook to securely connect to the database. So let's do that. To begin, sign into the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. Once the portal opens, navigate to your Databricks service in your resources, select it, and launch your workspace. Databricks uses Active Directory authentication. Once the workspace opens, there are several ways to create a notebook from the launch page. You can select the Create a Blank Notebook link or the New Notebook link. The New Notebook dialog opens. Enter in a name for your notebook. Select the default language. Remember, you can use all of these languages in a single notebook, but one is set as the default. I'm going to select SQL, and then select the cluster for the notebook to be associated with. Select Create, and you have a notebook. I already created my demo notebook, and I will walk you through how to get the secrets from the vault, connect to the database, and then run a query. I created the notebook as a Scala notebook. However, if you decide that you want to change the default, you can do that by selecting this link and selecting a new default language. First, I've declared variables to hold the username and password to send to the database connection. I am calling the built-in dbutils, which are only available on clusters running Databricks Runtime 4.0 and above, to get the secret values for my username and password name pairs stored in the vault. The scope is the name of the scope secret that we created for Databricks, and the key is the name of the pair that I want to get the value for out of the Azure Key Vault. When I select Run Cell, we can see the results of this command. It comes back with the username and password values redacted so that we are securely going to be able to connect to the database. Then we need to build the JDBC connection for our database. Here is the connection string we got from our SQL Server. We have variables for the server name, the port, and the database name. And we create a JDBC URL that matches the connection string. Then we pass our secret values into the connection properties. And when I run the cell, we can see the values that are going to be sent when we connect to the database. The server name, the port, the JDBC URL that we've created, and it's again redacted the username and password. The next cell's code creates our data frame. We're going to pass in the URL, the name of the table, and our connection properties. This is going to return to us a data frame that shows us the fields that are available in the products table. Then we're going to run a query that selects the product ID, the product category ID, and the name from the products table. And finally, we're going to run a simple aggregate query that counts the number of products in each category. While I ran these individually, there is an option to run all. And we can see its progress as it traverses through all of the queries and commands that we've set up. To recap, we created a key vault. We associated our Databricks secret scope with it. We created a notebook, connected to a database, and ran some queries. If you want to discuss Databricks or have questions on Azure or the Power Platform, click the link below for more information, call or email, and we will be happy to discuss it further with you. Thank you.